in this week and preview the Bahamas Bowl and all the other Mid-American Conference Bowl games. Great to have everyone with us on Facebook Live. This is Ohio Sports Zone for those of you watching this for the first time. This is your number one source for all Mid-American Conference sports and Ohio University athletics. We shoot right here on the campus of Ohio University in Athens, Ohio. So let's get right into it. The fourth annual Bahamas Bowl between Ohio University and the UAB Blazers. UAB, of course, the big story with them after the cancellation of their football program in 2014. They are back after some hiatus. They're back in a big way, a big 8-4 season. Bill Clark doing great things there. He was the coach when UAB ended. Previously, their football operations, he was named the CUSA Coach of the Year. This is a UAB team that is 8-4. Not the best conference, but definitely can only play who they put in front of you. Some decent wins, won 8 of their games. Good stuff for UAB. Do have some tough losses, though. The first thing about UAB, they do not travel well. All of their losses this season have come on the road. Now, the Bahamas Bowl, obviously, not a road game, a neutral site game, but nonetheless, still the travel like you would a road game. Going to go through UAB's losses at Ball State. At Ball State. We all know how Ball State ended up, right, if you followed the MAC with any sense of regularity. 2-10, 0-8 in the MAC. Tough state, tough stuff for Ball State. So that's one of their first losses. Lost to North Texas, who played FAU last week in their conference championship game. We'll get to talking FAU a little bit later. Lost to Charlotte, that's a bad loss. Lost to Florida, playing later in the season. That was October 21st. That's a SEC Cupcake Week, as everyone likes to call it. So UAB, not, a lot of tough losses in there, but something UAB excels at is the turnover margin. Look for this to be a storyline in the game this week. Ohio University's been turning the ball over in games. In the last 2 games, they've gone on the road to Akron and Buffalo. What have they done? They've turned the ball over. Very uncharacteristic of these Frank Solich teams that turn the ball over at the rate they have been the last 2 weeks. You saw the Buffalo game with that fumble return for a touchdown in the first quarter. Very tough to recover for Ohio. They went down 14-0 in that game, ended up paying the price for it. It's something Ohio's going to have to do very well in this Bahamas Bowl if they want a chance at winning, is make sure they manage their turnovers. UAB, 40th in the country in that category. UAB, a good defense. One of the only defenses that Ohio's played this year that is statistically better than them in total defense. UAB ranks 35th in the country in that statistic. Nathan Rourke going to have a big day. Not going to be able to turn the ball over. We'll see if Dorian Brown gets back. We'll see if AJ Ouellette gets back. Definitely things to monitor as this continues. As we continue, we shoot this the first week of December. Hopefully they are all healthy by the time it is time for the Bahamas Bowl. This is the 4th annual Bahamas Bowl. Like I mentioned in our open, the MAC team has been to 2 of the 3 Bahamas Bowl. They've never won a Bahamas Bowl. 2014, Western Kentucky defeated Central Michigan 49-48, barn burner of a game. 2016, Old Dominion defeated Eastern Michigan last year. Great game, came down to the last seconds. Eastern Michigan unable to pull that one out. They lost 24-20. Ohio University's been fading down the stretch. This is a big game for them. They need a bowl win. They haven't won a bowl game in a few years. They need a win badly at the end of this season. When we start looking at keys to this game, Ohio has to start fast. Like we've mentioned, their starts the last couple weeks, I guess not so much Akron, but Buffalo particularly. Their starts have been bad. They've been rough. Buffalo, really, the first 4 minutes of the game, they were down 14 in the first 4 minutes of the game. I mean, Buffalo, Coach Leipold, give them a lot of credit. That's a team you'd like to see Ohio beat, a team Ohio should beat on paper. Like I said, limit the early turnovers. Spencer Brown is UAB's running back. He's going to have to be someone that Ohio looks to contain. The CUSA Freshman of the Year, definitely a versatile player. Definitely will be making noise in that conference for years to come. 1,292 yards, 5.5 yards per carry. And something that Ohio's going to have to do is limit UAB establishing the run, because they're not a team that's great putting the ball in there. And conversely, Ohio's going to have to establish the run. Nathan Rourke, I mean, we can't say enough about this guy. Just broke Calvin McRae's single-season touchdowns record during the Buffalo game. If Nathan Rourke gets going, like we've seen all year, if he gets running downhill, gets a couple scores in the first half, puts a couple throws on the money, it's going to be good news for Ohio. Another thing Ohio's going to have to do is find a way to stretch the ball down the field. Obviously, they're going to run more than they're going to pass. That's just Frank Solich football at this point, and that's what they should do. Nathan Rourke's more of a running quarterback, obviously, but you look at guys like Brendan Cope's probably going to be out. They have to complete some passes downfield. It's hard for them, especially in that Buffalo game. They had a hard time throwing the ball. Akron, they had a hard time throwing the ball sometimes. I'd like to see him involved in tight ends more. I think Mason Morgan and Troy Manchin definitely should factor into this game plan. I'd like to see them get involved more. For UAB, another player to watch out for is Darius Williams, Pro Football Focus, college football first team All-American. Great story. This guy started as a walk-on and now is on the Pro Football Focus college football team first team for the country. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the country. He started as a walk-on. He's second in the nation in passes defended, second in CUSA in interceptions. At one point this year had a 4-game interception streak. He's one of the only players in the country to do that. Okay, 4 consecutive games he had an interception. I don't care who you play against. That is impressive. This is UAB's first postseason appearance since the 2004 Hawaii Bowl. Ohio has suffered 3 bowl losses in a row. Last win was the 2012 Independence Bowl. So we'll see. I'm going to give you my pick for the game coming up on this next segment. We're going to cut this for our taped show. Obviously, there's a green screen behind me. We tape this show. We put it on YouTube every Friday. YouTube.com. We are back here on Ohio Sports Center. Thank you for joining me this week, Ethan Graham, along with Ethan Graham. Bowl season is upon us. It is a great time. Regular season wrapped up. Congrats to the Toledo Rockets, absolutely demolishing Akron in the MAC championship game. Toledo looks like they're playing in a league of their own in that one folks. But we're going to get to Toledo a little bit later. We're going to switch back to Akron. Akron coming off of a bad loss in the MAC championship game. They are going down to FAU playing Lane Kiffin and those Owls in the Boca Raton Bowl. This is actually a home game, not technically, but it is a home game for the Boca Raton Bowl, playing that game in FAU Stadium. I don't really see Akron having much of a chance in this one. Obviously, some quarterback problems there. Not really sure who they went with. They pulled Cato Nelson after his first series, in the MAC championship game and decided to go with Thomas Woodson. I don't think Akron has a great game plan heading into this one. Obviously, FAU, that program has all the momentum in the world. Lane Kiffin is in the news for his tweets, all sort of crazy stuff. I don't really give Akron much of a chance in this game, but they do have some dynamic offense. I would not be surprised if this is a high-scoring game. Take FAU in the Boca Raton Bowl. December 22nd, there will be 2 MAC Bowl games. The first is Central Michigan and Wyoming in the Idaho Potato Bowl. Someone to watch for Wyoming is Josh Allen. He is the sweetheart of all the NFL draft scouts right now, someone who's quickly moving up big boards all around the country, going pro. Great look for an NFL quarterback. Pretty much a prototypical type guy. 6'5", big frame, going to be tough for the Chippewas to stop. John Bonamego did some great things this year. Got the Chips to 8 wins. No one thought that was going to happen. But I like Josh Allen to have a huge game here. He's already said he's going pro. This is his last game. It is as a Wyoming Cowboy. Give me Wyoming. The MAC gets out to an 0-2 bowl start. Appalachian State versus Toledo. Toledo coming off a dominating performance in the MAC championship game. Logan Woodside made some incredible throws. Really some of the best stuff I've ever seen out of a MAC quarterback. Quickly approaching Bruce Gankowski's records, if not smashing some there for the Rockets. This is the Camellia Bowl. He was there a couple years ago. Give me Toledo in this one. I think Logan Woodside is too much. He's dominating right now. At the end of the season, was obviously named the MAC Offensive Player of the Year. Give me the Rockets convincingly. They're only an 8-point favorite. I think there's a pretty good chance they cover that. Give me the Rockets in a blowout. Here's an interesting one. Day after Christmas, December 26th, Duke and Northern Illinois. Duke 6-6 with Coach David Cutcliffe has been the topic of some coaching vacancies this offseason. Duke is coming off back-to-back victories to end their season in the ACC, getting to 6 wins, bowl eligible. And NIU very good, as we almost lose our phone there. Sorry, everyone on Facebook Live. It just fell off. Tough stuff for Facebook Live. The phone is okay. But NIU in the Quick Lane Bowl, Sutton Smith, absolutely dominant for the Huskies at times this year. He's a great edge rusher. I expect to see him playing on Sundays sometime in the future. This is going to be a close game. You know what? Give me the Huskies. Give me the Huskies just barely. I think this could be one of the sneaky good games of bowl season. And the one everyone is looking forward to, you should be looking forward to, is Ohio and UAB. Ohio, I think they're finally going to do it. I think they're going to break their bowl losing streak. I think they're going to win. UAB, obviously, tremendous season for them, but I think the luck runs out. They do struggle on the road. Nathan Rourke needs a bounce-back game. Ohio needs a bounce-back game. They get it done in Nassau, in the Bahamas. Take it to the bank. We'll see how correct I am or incorrect I am. Be sure to follow that along on our Twitter and Facebook pages. That's it for now. Everyone have a great break. We're going to take a break here on Ohio Sports Zone. It is finals week here at Ohio University, and we're going to go home and experience some action. So from our family to yours, have a great winter break. Have a happy holidays, all that good stuff. We'll see you in 2018 for new and improved Ohio Sports Zone.